Chapter 3 of the Pokemon Creepypasta, Weeping Cubone. Valerie felt there was nothing she could do to help the lost soul. A nagging growl from her stomach reminded her she needed some food. Famished and seeking shelter from the storm, she returned to the store owner's home. He allowed her inside grimly, muttering, "You have until the rain lets up, or dawn, whichever comes first. This is the last time I'll provide you hospitality. You shouldn't be here." Valerie ignored his stern remarks and wrung out her soaked hair as a flash of thunder illuminated the dark interior of the house. "Thanks, I guess. Just don't go all crazy on me again," she shot back. This puzzled the old man. "Crazy? What do you mean?" He closed the door, banishing the harsh downpour. "I thought you were the Hypno. You talked just like it, and looked at me with an unspeakable evil in your eyes." She gave him a hard gaze as he appeared to be confused and shocked by this news. "Can I really trust you?" she asked. "Who's to say that isn't your true form?" "Nonsense," the old man growled, looking away as another boom of thunder shook the aged wooden floor. "What are you hiding from me? Tell me," Valerie asked, grabbing his arm and forcing him to face her. The expression on his face was quite grim. "The Hypno is a spirit from the game. It can possess people, but there are 2 ways to defeat it." "It can be stopped? How?" Valerie asked, squeezing his arm intensely. He yanked it away and tended to a lantern that was dimming. It was now Valerie noticed a plethora of lanterns were the only light source inside the house. She watched in fascination as the lights danced against the walls. "The spirit can be defeated by another stronger than it. As for the likes of you and I, it can only affect us, if we are afraid of it." He turned away from the relit lantern, facing her. "That is the source of its power, pure terror," he explained, clenching his fist. Valerie swallowed nervously, knowing she couldn't conquer the spirit herself. "Are you afraid of it?" she asked. The old man gazed out a large window at the rain flowing down the glass, giving a long, silent look before answering. "I'm not even sure anymore. I've survived these tragedies for so long I can barely tell reality apart from illusions." Valerie bit her lip. "I'm not strong enough to be fearless," she said quietly. "It terrifies me." "Fear is all we have sometimes, child. It's what keeps us alive," the old man murmured, almost to himself. Facing Valerie again, he gave her a somber look as the rain began to slowly die away. "Do not look for me again. It gained control of me once. It could happen a second time. You are no longer safe in my presence." He reached into his fridge and handed her a brown bag. "This was supposed to be my lunch tomorrow, but I have a feeling you need this more than I do." Valerie reluctantly took the offered bag, and the old man opened the front door, the once furious rain now a mere drizzle. The young woman stepped outside, but froze in her tracks as she saw the Cubone staring straight at her from afar, tears trailing down its mask. "What's wrong?" the old man asked. "Can you see it? The Cubone?" she asked, quivering. The Cubone called out with its thoughts.
"Remember my warning. More people will die if you do not find my mother."
The old man squinted, looking out into the darkness. "I see nothing. What's it doing?" "It wants me to help it, saying people will die if I don't." The Cubone began to draw closer. Valerie slowly began to back away in fear. Suddenly, the 2 eye holes in the animal's mask made a brief red flash. Valerie felt completely paralyzed. I can't move." The old man hurried back inside. "Wait! Don't leave me!" Valerie cried as the Cubone slowly approached. He quickly returned with one of his lanterns, taking her hand and dragging her away. "Hey! Where are you taking me?" "It may not be too late for you. They'll find me soon, but you have a better chance of escaping. As soon as the feeling returns to your body, run far away from this place." The old man stopped dead in his tracks with a helpless gasp as the Hypno spirit appeared, freezing every muscle in his body and raising him off the ground with an eerie grin.
She is free to go. There is much work for her to do. And as for you, old man...
The smile on its face widened.
Well, she doesn't need to know. Yet.
As the spirit swayed its pendant, Valerie was overcome with a bright light. The young woman awoke in the forest once more. It was her usual sleeping spot, but things looked very different. She rubbed her eyes to focus, and shrieked in horror as she saw the air littered with bodies hung from tree limbs. They almost appeared to be swaying like pendulums in the wind, their skin a pale blue. Valerie slowly stood and began to back away, almost tripping over something small and furry. She quickly turned to see it was the Cubone, which looked furious. Its entire body was caked in a layer of dried blood.
I warned you, and you did nothing.
Valerie began to back away from the psychotic animal as it approached her, gripping its bone club tightly.
You should have saved us,
one of the bodies whispered in the wind.
You could have spared us all,
another agreed. They reached for her as she struggled to hurry past them. The spaces between them all was so narrow, too many arms reaching out for her. One grabbed her hair, yanking her back as the others began to release themselves from the trees. Valerie couldn't break free. They were all swarming towards her, their words becoming overwhelming.
Why didn't you save us? Our deaths are your fault. You let us all die. You should have been there. Why weren't you there? You killed us all. You let us all die. Why didn't you save us? Why weren't you there? Our deaths are your fault. You killed us all. You should have been there. Our deaths are your fault. Why didn't you save us? You should have been there. Why weren't you there? You should have been there. You killed us all. Why weren't you there? You killed us all. Why weren't you there? You should have been there. Your fault.
With a gasp of terror, Valerie awoke from a horrible nightmare, covered in perspiration. She was in the same spot she had awoken in her dream. There was not a body to be found, and the Cubone was out of sight. However, she felt something plastic by her arm. Looking down to see it was Keith's old Game Boy Color, his copy of Pokemon Dark version in the back, the very last one remaining. As she sat up, gazing at it with mixed thoughts, she wondered how it got here from the police station it had been confiscated at. Suddenly, she felt a cold breath on the back of her neck, like prickling needles.
You know what you must do.
She knew who it was. The feeling of its cold breath paralyzed her. Suddenly, as the breathing stopped, she regained control of her muscles and rolled around in hopes of catching the hypno-spirit. It was now gone, but the voice continued.
Go ahead, turn it on. You know you want to play.